shot, Joe.
That was some weird nonsense.
Don't be a hater, Joe.
For real.
If it works for them.
Joe, I finally finished up the hole.
Nice job, Donald. I'm proud of you.
Not a bad shot, Donald.
Yes,
I don't
sir.
want to sound negative, but Bestie, here we go again. Why did you get more excited for Donald than me?
Your turn.
That. What? Laser focus today. Okay, I guess that worked out much better than I expected. Nice one, Joe.
That was a gutsy but successful shot.
Which approach are you going to roll with here, Bestie?
I'm feeling more gutsy right now.
Well, damn.
Hopefully this will.
It's looking good so far.
That was a nice shot, Bill.
Thanks, Joe.
I see you out here keeping things competitive. That's what you did when we last played this game, so I can't say that I'm surprised.
Of course he'll keep it competitive.
Super early, like Joe said.
Fair enough, but it really depends on if you guys mess up badly like I did earlier.
Well, out of all the courses I've played with you all in this game,
That was a good shot,
this
George.
might be the hardest one, so I really don't know what's going to happen.
Well, damn okay then. Don't be the safe then, huh? Basically.
All right, Joe, we're swinging it back to you. Good luck.
I think I could have used a little more power, but I guess I can't complain with the result of this shot.
Hold on now, who's going next? I think my Bestie is.
Jesus Christ.
Should I eat you guys?
Please don't, Bill. Do it, Bestie.
I thought that was my only
Thank God
option
for
for a
that.
second there.
That's a good shot,
But
Bill.
thank God I was able to get up here.
I'm surprised we're all getting up on this little incline.
That's good. Let me ask you.
Speaking, you've been inconsistent with getting past that.
Maybe we're just all better at the game now.
Facts. Can you keep up with the trend, Donald?
Of course I can. I am literally King Donald.
Nice one, Donald.
Glad to see that everyone is getting better at the game.
I got better too, Bestie.
Holy
Pay
crap.
attention to me in this next turn of mine, okay?
Are you sure you're not obsessed with Bill?
For real, I'm not obsessed with my Bestie.
Are you sure you're not going to propose this, Diane?
Damn! You and Donald need to show more discipline with regards to focusing on the game.
You out of all people do not get to say that.
Preach it, Donald. So what was that about you guys getting laser focused?
We'll be okay, Joe.
Whatever you guys say. All right, George, it's back to you.
Are you watching me, Bestie? Well, the shot looks good, I guess.
It's kind of hard to mess that up, Marat.
Nice job, George, for completing the hole up relatively quick.
Thank you for your compliments, Bestie.
Give it a
I
break.
will always cherish them.
Tell me you're obsessed with Bill without actually telling me you're obsessed with what in the
What the
world?
hell was that?
That's nonsense.
Some way, somehow.
It's BS.
This happened again.
That's true.
This is super annoying when I'm trying to get first
I
place.
had that same exact feeling a few games ago, Bill.
Same here.
As frustrating as it is, you can't let that impact your performance moving forward.
I understand. Nice shot, Don.
Thanks, Bill.
You got this, Bestie. Dude, listen to yourself. Amazing shot from my Bestie once again.
Will you shut up,
He
man?
will keep himself on top of the leaderboard because that's how great he is.
All right, George, that's enough. You're not making the others happy
Facts.
by constantly doing this meat line.
Facts.
Get a grip of yourself.
Facts.
And focus on your game plan.
Big facts. Holy crap, Bill, you cooked there. Should I call you Bestie now?
For the love of God.
All right, Don. It's a new hole. Focus on
I
that.
got this. I'm going to time my jump correctly.
It's looking good.
What in the world is
How did
that?
that happen? It looked like it was going to land on the other side of the course.
Things aren't always what they seem,
At
Donald.
least you know what to do next time, Don. You got this.
Fair enough. What you got for us, George?
Well, I'm not going to make the same mistake as you. Hold up, damn it.
Not make the same mistake as me, you said. That's a pretty pathetic turn, George.
Excuse me.
I was the lab rat, too.
Okay, but what in the hell is wrong with your ball?
It's technically still moving, so his turn won't finish until the ball is at a complete stop. Yeah, that's pretty annoying.
Don't get tilted, George. Okay, it's on to the next turn.
Yeah, hopefully I don't make the same mistake as you guys.
Good
I
luck.
just need to time it correctly.
Over to
It's looking good. Let's go like always. I'm laser focused. That's a solid turn, Joe. Nice one.
Thanks, Bill. It's up to you guys now if you can replicate that or not.
Well, I guess we'll see right here then if I can do it or not.
Good luck, Daddy. I need
What?
Bestie. I need Bill.
I made it.
Nice one, Bill.
I'm not messing around either, Joe.
I can see
It
that.
looks like we got some competition.
Okay, don't think for 1 second that I'm all of a sudden irrelevant.
Nobody said that.
I just want to reintroduce myself as the Abominator. Watch out, I don't know about this one.
Yeah, I have no clue what that was about, but I really need to make it to the other side this time.
Donald, you're literally 8 points behind first place. You're not winning this either.
Excuse me?
Focus up, Donald.
Thank God I made
Nice
it.
one, Don.
For a second there, I thought I wouldn't for some reason.
You're still in this, Donald. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
I actually welcome the trash talk from George as long as it doesn't get toxic and personal, of course.
What's going on? You guys know you don't have to take that route,
I
right?
was expecting someone to catch on.
And I did.
Glad you didn't overcomplicate things.
I would never overcomplicate that.
Whatever you say, you Bill-loving meat rider.
Well, it's not like you're
Okay, I don't care for any of this. Let me focus on my shot, damn it.
It looks solid so far.
Maybe I could have put more power into my shot, but I was nervous of falling in the water.
I don't think you need to play aggressively right now, Joe.
That's true.
You have to lead, don't you?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Good luck, Bestie.
I'm going to try bouncing off this wall right here.
That basically worked to perfection. Nice turn, Bill.
I should have put more power into it.
You're okay.
Then I could have been in a position to shoot the ball up the ramp next time.
That's fair, but holy crap, I kind of forgot that I'm still all the way up here. Don't mess things up again.
Of course. That's what a king does. You can never count me out.
That was amazing resilience, Don.
Damn right it was.
Great job on not giving up on the turn.
How about me, bestie?
Every goddamn time.
I did what you did last turn.
Also not a bad turn.
Why does it feel like Bill is the parent in our group? He's praising us and encouraging us for everything.
That's an interesting comparison, I'm not going to lie. So does that mean that my bestie all of a sudden became my daddy?
What in the world?
Yeah, I'm not going to focus on that.
That's good.
I'm trying to get first place.
You're in a good position to do so.
All right, I desperately need to get back into this.
I don't know about desperately,
Not
but I
looking
get
good
it.
for Rob.
Damn, hold on, he can get back on the close side.
Keep jumping, Barack. Jump up and down and keep jumping up and down. What the hell?
That's what I'm talking about, boys.
Nice one,
The
Barack.
Accommodator is back in action.
And I'm the one who overcomplicates things? You definitely did. You didn't even need to do all that.
Regardless,
Speak to me.
the Rock made progress, so that's all that matters.
And I did as well.
Fact.
I'm in a prime position to complete the hole in a couple of turns at most here. You're not the only one, Donald. I'm right behind you. Can you feel it? I'm not even going to respond to that.
Well, technically, you're right behind me, George.
The time has come, Coach Joe.
Yes, sir.
Let's see if you can make it to the other side.
Damn it. Well, that was
Keep watching.
the no to your question, Barack.
Okay, shut the hell up, George. I'm on the other side.
Ain't no way in hell. How the hell did you get that lucky?
Amazing resilience, Joe.
Thanks, Bill.
Amazing turn, Joe. That's super inspiration. Dang it!
Unfortunately, I wish I could say the same about you.
It's okay, Bill. Now you know for sure how much power to put in next turn.
Yeah, I know.
I guess he knows.
I just wish I had done it right the first time.
You did it
So I
next
could
time.
get close to Joe's first place position.
You'll be good, Bill.
Facts.
At least that's what made up my screw-ups earlier this time.
Screwing up once again. Hover on.
I don't need to hear it from you, George.
You need to hear it, though.
How about you sit there quietly and think about Bill?
I would love to. Okay, how about you watch this amazing shot right here?
That was a clutch shot, Don.
Yes, sir.
Slowly but surely, you will make up that deficit
Facts.
if you keep playing like this.
Are you watching this, bestie?
Not a bad shot, George.
Okay, I didn't ask you. I asked my bestie.
Solid shot.
Yeah, it is.
Let's see if you can bounce back this turn here, Bill.
After seeing how much power you guys put in, I think I got this.
And you definitely got this. Nice one, Bill. Only my bestie can do something like that.
You do realize that everyone did this prior to me, right?
You can't speak sense into him when he's in his ultimate form of beat riding, Bill.
Excuse me? Anyways, I'm curious to see what the score looks like.
Nice one, Bill.
I feel like a lot happened.
Jesus Christ, thank God I finished the hole like this time.
Hallelujah.
For a second there, I thought I was going to miss it like Bill did the other hole.
Well, nothing surprising here, ladies and gentlemen. Papa Joe is still on top.
I figured I was down more, but I'm still very much in.
My bestie and I are both at 19 together. That's how you know we're besties.
What's the move here, Donald?
Literally just eating it like this is the move.
Solid
I
approach.
can't think of a better approach than this. And once again,
Please don't lose the whole
this hole is
thing.
more straightforward and easy than some of the other ones.
Okay, thank God.
Fair assessment, George, but the job is not finished.
Exactly.
I'm just going to take the same approach as Donald so I can hold on to my first place lead.
Once again, Joe,
What about me?
another solid approach to the hole. You've been locked in for sure.
Thanks, Bill.
No problem.
I wonder if anyone will approach this hole differently, though.
I'm approaching this differently. Wait, what? Watch me, bestie.
What in the world? That wasn't a good shot, Joe.
Keep preaching it, Bill. You gotta commend me for trying something different, though, right?
There's a difference between being different and being stupid, Joe.
Jesus Christ, Bill, you are absolutely cooking right now.
For real.
We need to give you a nickname.
Oh, I got one.
Do I want to hear this?
Beautiful Bill. Hell no. That's my nickname.
How about Banging Bill?
What?
You know what, Joe? I actually really like that nickname.
Ain't no
What do
way.
you think, Bill?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Let's go.
I'm banging Bill Bill.
That could have an entirely different meaning, but I guess I'm okay with it.
I still think Beautiful Bill is the best one.
Nobody asked for your opinion, George.
Screw that.
Excuse me?
I'm allowed to express.
Nobody gives a damn for what I said earlier, huh?
Oh, boy.
What happened to
Damn it.
Rexcom and focusing more on the damn game? Well, this is just ridiculous.
Well, I just completely screwed things up by putting barely any power into that shot. I think Joe distracted you, Donald.
Don't even start with me, I swear to God.
Don't let George get to you, Joe.
Yeah, that's my
Just relax and keep on doing what you're doing, okay?
Yeah, Joe, just keep up your good play. You once again had another good shot in turn. I can have a good turn, too. Let's do this, boys.
You should have done that last turn, but better later than never, I guess.
I realize now that it was stupid to do that last turn. Ain't that the
After
truth?
all,
That's what my bestie said.
I'm just going to focus on my thing.
Thank God for that. That's literally all I asked for.
I could use some good luck here.
It's looking promising.
This looks like a good shot, Bob.
Come on, keep going
No one
down.
else goes in, right?
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, boys.
Nice one,
The
bro.
Accommodator is back.
They definitely made up the last hole down.
Bestie.
I gotta eat this. I have no other option.
Wow, that felt good. What the hell, dude?
Yeah, I'm honestly at a loss of words at this point.
Sorry, guys. I had no other option.
You're okay, Bill.
Okay, like you, Barack.
What's up?
I'm going to put in the same amount of power, so
Looking good
hopefully I
so
can
far.
roll down into the hole as well.
Well, that's exactly what happened, Don.
Yes, sir.
Nicely planned.
That's definitely one way to make up for your shot last turn.
I guess this hole was pretty straightforward, like George predicted. That's all I do out here, boys.
I still need to complete this hole, though.
Just do the same thing as Donald and I.
Facts.
You'll be good. Let's see.
Please don't give me a bad roll. Dang it!
That was just super important. For real, it's got a weird bounce.
This game is trying its best to ruin my bestie's chance at winning this game.
At least I could salvage some part of that turn.
That's true.
It's on to the next one.
Nothing new here, ladies and gentlemen.
I call it
Papa Joe is still on top after 6 holes.
Yeah, I need you guys to screw up if I want to get back in this game.
Well, this hole also looks pretty straightforward, wouldn't you guys say? Damn it.
I don't know what the hell that was, Joe.
You're throwing out here, Joe.
Oh, really now?
You've had a lead all all game, and I can feel it shrinking.
It's one bad turn, Jake. Brush it off and you'll be okay.
Preach it, Bill.
All right, let me show you all how it's done.
I'll be the judge of that.
There are multiple paths to this hole, huh? Yeah, there is.
No surprise there.
According to my plan, I will complete the hole up in 3 turns at most.
I think the same can be said about us too, George.
Hey, George. What's up, Barack?
What about my turn? Is this also an average turn?
No, that's a terrible turn. What? You hit my bestie.
Can you seriously just stop entertaining this BS? Like, holy crap.
What the hell?
Stop.
Serious
Stop. I'm being bumped.
Joe, are you doing okay?
I feel like I'm at a breaking point.
What?
Drama here, drama there, drama everywhere. Just play the damn game.
Well, I will gladly do just that by progressing closer and closer to the hole.
I'm sure we'll all do the same thing as you, George. There's nothing special with that turn.
Not Donald, though. He's in a bad position.
Only because Joe bumped my ball.
Anyway,
Keep talking.
it's my turn to replicate what George did.
What an amazing shot, Bestie.
You know what? I don't want to piss Joe off more, so I'm not going to say anything.
With all due respect, Barack, shut the hell up.
Excuse me?
You literally said the same thing just a little ago.
100%
You were
true.
on your word anyway.
So anyway,
What's up?
though Joe bumped my ball elsewhere, I'll still complete the hole in the same amount of turns as you all.
Except for Bill, of course.
Why do you guys keep saying it like it will matter in the final score?
Because it
We're
will.
going to win this game.
How do you figure that, Joe?
It's not rocket science.
Oh, really
The
now?
most focused players are Bill and I by far.
That's true.
Keep meat riding. Bill and Barack and Donald are getting annoyed and pissed over your meat riding.
Guys, before you respond to Joe, I have one thing to say.
What is that exactly, Bill?
Joe is 1,000% right.
Preach it more, Bill.
If you guys focus more on the game, you wouldn't be losing right now.
we're not losing by 100. You know that, right?
Yeah, for real. We're still in the game.
Yeah, whatever you guys say.
It's true.
Let's move on to the next hole. I'm over this one.
Well, everyone is beating you out in the score from this hole, Joe.
Yeah, I screwed up my first shot badly, but it's not going to happen again.
That's a good mindset to have. It's on to the next one.
What does the score look like anyway?
You're down by $1 million.
Like hell I am.
Doesn't really matter at this point.
There are still 3 holes left. Don't get cocky now, George. Well, this is an interesting looking hole.
Oh, it definitely is.
I wonder how you'll approach this, Don.
I'm just going to head to the right here and try using this ramp to eat over to the other side.
Not a bad approach, Donald. Nice.
I can show you a better approach, Dusty.
All righty then, George. Let's see it.
What exactly are you going to do here, then?
I'm just going to beat this.
Wait, what? He's actually doing it.
Looking pretty good so far.
That is how I do it, boys. Take some notes.
That's a pretty good shot, George.
I love it when you
Nice way to
compliment.
set yourself up
Yes.
for your next turn.
Talk more.
Barack? Damn!
You wish you could be me, Barack.
Excuse me?
It's not easy being someone like me.
It's okay, Barack. It's only one turn.
Thanks for that, Bill. Let's see what you got.
Well, that was pretty anticlimactic.
Ain't that the truth?
Just got to keep it simple like you're
What
done.
about me?
Am I right?
Oh, you're definitely right about that.
Yeah, I'll just take the same approach as you guys.
Smart.
We need to try something risky when I have to leave.
Sounds like you're a scaredy cat.
I don't care for what you have to say.
You should.
I'm in first place.
Okay, let me eat this shot real quick.
Looking good.
Nice one, Donald.
Thanks, Bill.
You set yourself up in a favorable position for your next turn. That's for sure.
Let me show you a beautiful shot, Bestie.
I think it's too much power.
Barely. That's what I'm talking about.
Whoa, whoa,
What
whoa.
did you think of that, Bestie?
Not a bad shot, George.
Why in the hell do you have to ask for Bill's opinion every time?
See, that's what I'm saying.
What are you talking about, Bill?
You literally just said you wouldn't respond to George's meat writing. You
Seriously, meat writing?
But you literally did just that a couple of minutes ago.
Oh, yeah. Oops.
It's not worth the energy.
That's true.
Joe, let's just continue focusing on the game.
Definitely, Bill. And I see you with that solid shot. Nice one.
Can I get some credit?
Now you're the one acting like George.
Excuse me?
I'll give you credit, Donald.
Let's go.
Thanks for showing me the way.
Yeah, I feel like you've been the lab rat on most of these holes, Donald.
I think so too, but I'm King Donald, so I can overcome any challenges.
Donald, you're literally in last place.
Don't worry about me. Worry about yourself.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I was super close to getting it in the hole this time.
Regardless, though, Joe,
What's up?
you'll complete the hole up next turn.
Are you sure about that, Bestie? Here we go again. Joe was low-key been choking his lead during these previous few
Can you
holes.
stop distracting me, George? My shot was terrible because of that.
Oh, so now you're blaming me for that garbage shot?
Yep.
No surprise there.
Come on, Donald. You can't get distracted by George.
Yeah, I know.
Just do what you got to do. You feel.
Can you and Barack stop giving Bill and I BS?
What do you mean?
How many times have
Not looking good at all.
That wasn't the right call, Barack. You should have played more safely.
What George said, but you guys do it anyway.
What in the world did you just say, Joe?
You know what? I'm over this. I'm not taking this disrespect.
What?
Hurry up and finish this damn game. I'm so over being interrupted and not listened to while a bunch of stupid drama happens every time I play.
You guys really brought Joe to this point, huh?
We didn't mean to, though.
Joe, we're sorry. Can you calm down?
Don't tell me what to do. I'm over this right now. Just play the game.
Well, I completely screwed myself over in this hole.
You took way too many unnecessary risks, Barack.
You think I don't know that?
I don't know why you did that when you were still in the game.
How many holes are left again?
Only 2 more, Donald.
What's the score, though?
I'm right there for first place, while you and Donald are choking your hopes away from getting first place.
I thought I did okay that hole, though.
Well, you did, though.
But what, though?
Joe and I completed it in only 3 tries.
I can see that.
Come on, Donald.
Here we go
I
again.
told you that you were not going to win this game. I have a much better chance to win.
Stay humble, George.
It wasn't a bad first turn.
Exactly. I'm off to a great start.
You literally
do not have an angle to progress well with the whole next turn, George.
For real?
What are you even talking about? Say what you want to say, but Joe does not have an angle either.
What in the world does Joe have to do anything with your situation?
Did you guys forget that he's in first place still?
That's true.
What he does impacts what I do.
I'm still in this game, too.
That's a good shot, Bill.
I have a way better angle than everyone right now as well.
Well, King Donald hasn't even gone yet.
Fair enough.
So let me do that first before you say that, Bill.
The shot looks promising.
Okay, not bad, Don. Let's see you.
Yes, sir.
If you had played like this earlier,
Here we go
you
again.
had a chance to win.
I'll be fine.
But you didn't focus enough during this
You
game.
can't be serious right now.
With the constant beat writing, again, with the beat writing, blame us for not being fully focused. Okay, I need to focus here.
How are you going to approach this game?
Amazing question, Bessie. I'm just going to keep
What the hell?
Some ways it's so he just needed the ball out of the way.
I don't know how.
That's just super unfortunate. That's all skill. I'm coming for that first place, Joe.
Not if I can do something about it, Joe. You're eating it too.
What in the world are you guys doing?
What the hell? This isn't looking good.
You can't be serious with this.
But it's serious.
How is it that I end up out of bounds in the most bizarre way possible?
That's tough luck, Joe. Don't keep your head down, though.
Sure.
It's on to the next turn.
Joe choked the lead once again. Nothing new here, ladies and gentlemen. So did Joe choke during his turn, George? Hell no. My bestie got cheated. That was just super unlucky.
No surprise there.
That was just a bad turn for me.
Don't blame yourself.
I need to put less power in my shot next time.
Well, after seeing Bill's turn,
Which was
I have to have the proper angle for this.
That's true.
And I have to put in a certain amount of power later so I can advance up the platform.
I 100% agree with that, Donald. It seems like we're all of the same mindset now. But I will be the first to complete this hole. What a joke. I'm feeling good about my chances of winning this game. Jesus Christ, George, don't you dare do that.
Where in the hell is your ball going, Barack?
You can't be serious with this. Oh, what I saw here. You literally ruined my chances of getting first place. You were never going to get first place anyways.
I have no clue what just went down.
For real.
I guess good turn, Joe.
Thanks, Bill. You're up next, so let's see if you can redeem yourself from last turn.
Yeah, this time I'm not putting much power into the
Amazing
shot.
job,
And
Bessie.
it already worked out much better.
Well, okay then. I'll just replicate that power and hopefully get the same results as you, Bill.
You did just that, Donald.
Damn right I did.
That's what happens when you replicate my bestie. Okay, enough of that.
Please.
I need to figure out a way to get myself back in contention for first.
You're starting to choke.
Keep cooking, Bill. You two need to seek help immediately, like hell you do.
Imagine me writing
Nice
someone
one,
for
Bill.
damn near half an hour just for them to hear their gameplay get insulted like that.
Okay, I'm still beating you two out on the score. You shouldn't be laughing.
You literally
Whoa.
see this shot of mine?
You didn't make it.
Jesus Christ, you were so lucky that it didn't go in the hole this turn. Damn it.
Whatever you say.
Good luck, Bob. Rock.
Thanks, Bill. Just you didn't time it right either, you clown. Excuse me.
What in the world is going on right now?
To keep it simple, Bestie, it was a bunch of commotion, but the result will be me getting first place.
Oh, really now?
Are you proud of me?
I don't know about that one, George.
Wait, what? What do you mean, Bestie?
Do you not see whose turn it is?
I legit forgot Joe was in the damn game. He's been so quiet.
For real. Joe, is everything okay?
Good luck with your turn, Bill. You got this.
Thanks, Joe.
Wait, did he hear him?
Oh my God, thank God for that.
That was super clutch.
If I didn't make it past that incline, I would have fallen in the standing.
That was definitely clutch, Bill.
Back.
But what the hell is going on with
If
Joe?
I had to make an assumption,
Speak more, Bestie.
Joe probably feels disrespected. Nobody listens to him. I also think at this point, he's over all this drama.
Well, I assure you that there is no more drama.
Did you see my shot, Bestie? Oh boy, what did you think?
I think you're falling off.
Are you being serious right now? This game is on its usual BS. Excuses. Why the hell are we even playing this game? This hole is never going to end for us, huh?
Speak for yourself, Barack.
Oh, really
King
now?
Donald has already gotten the job done because that's all a king does.
Shut the hell up, Donald.
What?
We're still in last place.
While you guys are going at it,
What is it, Bill?
Joe is just remaining silent and calm to ensure his first place lead.
You would be correct, Bill.
Joe's still here.
Nice job getting the hole completed, even though you had to shoot it at an angle.
Hopefully that's enough for me to at least remain competitive.
Let's go!
as we head into the last hole.
It's about damn time you made it up here, Barack. I've been waiting for a while.
It's not my fault. George beated my ball all the way back earlier during this hole. Sounds like excuses to me. How in the hell does that sound like an excuse when that's literally what happened?
Well, now I have no clue what the score is.
I don't know either.
Does anybody have an idea?
I'm in first place and you're in second place, Bill. That's all that matters.
Anything can happen, Joe. Watch me.
Looking good. Okay, never mind. Not looking good then.
Now that is what you call unlucky. Oh, really now? Stuff like this makes it even harder for someone to get first place. Sounds like a skill issue, Barack. Damn it. What was that about it being a skill issue? Don't talk to me. You want to expand on that comment? Focus on yourself.
Okay, can the two of you bums finish the damn hole already?
What the hell are you calling a bum? Even though you finished way before us. You're still probably in last place.
I guess we'll see about that.
Moment of truth.
Damn it.
What in the hell did I tell you? You're still in last place. Okay, but I'm beating the both of you guys like I predicted.
This is just pathetic.
Excuse me?
You three have been butting heads all game long, and you guys are competing against each other to see who's the least trash.
Not true.
Don't you think that's kind of pathetic?
That is not pathetic.
Yeah, whatever you guys say. I'm so over this.
Over what?
I'm tired of hearing you three. I'm going to finish this hole off quick and get first place, and then I'm going to head out.
You guys really did it this time for sure.
Let me focus.
What the hell?
Seriously? Of course I find a way to go out of bounds.
Nothing new
I was
here.
going to mount an amazing comeback, but when stuff like this happens, it takes away the chance of a comeback from occurring.
Losing O'Donnell. Okay, but what about me
It
then?
worked out better than Donald.
Facts.
So I guess there's that.
I don't know why you two act like you have a chance to win.
Like you
It's
do?
really between me, Joe, and my bestie. Will tried to sneak himself in there.
For real.
Then I guess I'm gonna have to prove you guys all wrong.
Good luck with that, Joe.
Thanks, bestie.
You need everything to go your way, which if you want any chance of much sense.
Well, I think I had a pretty good turn. In what world? At least I didn't end up like Donald.
George, you're basically where you started at.
Okay, I have to admit.
What's up, Bill?
I'm starting to feel a little bit sad for you guys. Don't be, Bill. Let them be. I'm going to try something crazy.
I love it when my bestie
If it
tries
fails,
something crazy.
then so be it.
What are you going to
At
do?
least I'm giving you guys a cushion, am I right?
And the way you said that, it sounds hella disrespectful.
Dang it!
I love it.
Well, thank God you missed that bill. I'm not trying to be embarrassed out here.
So being last place in the entire damn match is not embarrassing, but this would be embarrassing? Ain't that the truth?
Okay, we all know that I've been getting kind of screwed over this game.
Nice attempt, Joe.
Thanks, Bill.
I know what you were trying to do,
Is it
but
choking?
it probably didn't work the way you wanted it to.
Probably because it's
Just
choking.
keep calm and you'll be fine.
For sure, Bill.
It's my
We're on
turn.
the last hole after all, so I just got to play this safe.
Did you guys see what I just did?
It's the same thing I did a couple of turns ago.
Not even close. I have a good angle to progress with the whole next turn.
Fair enough.
I didn't have this angle.
Oh, wow, guys. Donald really has a point
Facts.
instead of being in last place.
Wait, what?
Jesus Christ, guys. Did you just see my amazing shot?
Nice one, Bob.
Now that is what you call amazing. Okay, it was a nice shot, and all but what in the hell was that?
For real.
It sounded like a goddamn velociraptor. You don't have to hate on me just because I'm going to beat
What
you
in the
out.
world?
Damn it, Barack, you're distracting me. Oh, really now? If I lose, which you will, that will be why. What a joke. It's just non-stop distractions from you and Donald.
The audacity for you to say that, George?
You guys are all ridiculous.
What?
Good luck, Bill.
The same thing is happening.
How in the hell does that just happen?
I don't know.
Of course, there's a small crevice that I fall into.
The same exact thing happened to me, Bill. It's just nonsense.
All right, I need to finish things off.
Good luck.
Let me focus up here.
So, did you finish things off?
Oh, don't worry. Now I actually have an angle to progress with the hole.
That's
And
true.
when I do, it's game over and I'm out of here.
You're going to have to get through me if you want first place, Joe. Excuse me?
Joe, wake the hell up.
Huh? Oh, I'm here.
What the hell was that about, Joe?
I was getting a little sleepy, I guess, since there's no competition outside of maybe Bill.
That's not funny, Joe.
Oh, really?
You've been known for choking, so don't get too comfortable.
I've been known for choking.
It's okay, Joe. Let it go.
Now, you know what? We're nearing the end, so let me speak up.
What the hell?
You're literally 1 and 5 in the game of life.
Damn!
George, you're literally 1 and 6 in golf with your friends.
Damn!
Jesus Christ. George, you're literally 1 and 4 in reds.
Damn!
You literally won 3 out of 15 games.
Damn! Okay, that's enough meat riding for Rob.
My point, I want to fully make known before I go.
There's more?
You three specifically have disrespected me all game long by never listening to me.
Focus on your shot, Joe.
I don't want drama, but it feels like you guys crave it.
That's not
Bill and I tried to get you guys to stop, but you guys never did. And to top that off,
Hold up, let me focus.
you guys never understood why I was frustrated. Instead,
And there's more.
you told me to calm down. You think you should? Who the hell does that?
Did you get it out of your system, Joe?
Okay, let's just finish up this game, go.
Well, I finished up early, so what? I'm feeling good about my chances. Did you forget about me or something?
With average shots like that, George, it's pretty easy to forget someone.
Do you not see my ball rolling down? Nobody cares. Something special happened right now.
Jesus Christ, George, you almost fell off, but thank God you didn't.
Thank God my bestie was concerned for my well-being. I literally have no clue what the standings look like.
When you ever had
If I remember correctly, we were all pretty close in the
I
scoring.
think Joe had a decent lead in first place, though, right?
Well, all I know is that you are my number one bestie.
Aren't you getting tired of this constant meat riding, George?
For real.
Bill literally told you to calm it down a bit, and you haven't.
Well, if that's what my bestie wants,
Seriously?
then I will comply. George, you said those exact words last time. I swear. It goes in one ear and it goes out the other.
Facts.
Do you ever listen? Well, what I do know is that I just hit an amazing shot.
I can't argue with
I
that.
just skipped that entire section with all the obstacles in the middle.
Good luck, Bill.
Thanks, Joe.
Hold up now.
I need to
Wow,
get
that
it
was
in.
some crazy shots.
Let's go!
Nice one, Bill.
That was a super satisfying shot, that's for sure.
Only my bestie can
It
do
feels
this.
good to end off the last hole like that.
Finish us off here, George. I got you, Barack.
Nice one.
Gotta save the best for last, am I right? Sure, something like that.
And like expected, I got first place.
What? I was one
Jesus
off.
Christ, Bill, I just realized you were only 1 off the time.
That's my best.
Nonetheless, GG, I'm out of here.
Oh, you guys?
What's up, Donald?
Joe was legit frustrated, huh?
I feel like there's only so much that he can do.
No way you're saying that.
If Joe is frustrated, then that's probably on him, right? What do you mean by that, Bill?
It's simple.
Please explain.
Joe doesn't want drama. There was drama. Joe doesn't want to feel disrespected. He was disrespected. Try to think about what he really said. And same thing with me. George.
What's up?
I said I want you to tone it down, but you didn't listen. Think about these things for when the next time we play, okay?
We'll keep that in mind then for next time, Bill. We appreciate it.
No problem. I'm going to catch you guys later. Peace out, and GG.
I'm heading out, Tim boys. GG like always. Catch you guys in the next one. GG guys. It was an entertaining match to say the least. I'm looking forward to our next gaming session. See you guys.
GG to everyone. I'm hoping for a better gaming session next time. Until then, boys.
Mentioned in the scene. That being the curious case of the ancient Sky Forge. Indeed, the Sky Forge, as it's aptly named, is a large blacksmith furnace located next to the Companions' Hall in Whiterun. According to legend, it is the greatest, hottest forge in all of Tamriel, and it has the ability to produce several unique forms of steel that can't be smithed anywhere else. As an emblem of its enigma, the forge is overlooked by a distinct and mysterious avian statue that no one in Whiterun knows anything about. However, while Bethesda clearly intended for this simmering smelter to be an object of limitless speculation, there are several clues and vague hints scattered across Skyrim and other Elder Scrolls games that, when assembled together, paint a fascinating history of this strange device. So, pull a chair up by the fire, pour out a glass of your finest Blackbriar Reserve, and relax as we begin our investigation into Skyrim's most mysterious metal manufacturing. But first, quick word from today's video sponsor. Raid Shadow Legends has taken over, and gaming will never be the same again. Raid is the first game to bring a true console-level experience to your phone. Like any self-respecting RPG, Raid has its own set of factions. My top 3 favorite ones include the Vanderlords, an army of noble humans inspired by medieval English and French knights. The Barbarians of Harkon are perhaps my second favorite, a legion of brutes who offer their services to the highest bidder. Finally, no RPG is complete without orcs. Lots of orcs who are taking names and, well, you know. And this month is huge for Raid. They just released a brand new faction, the Sylvan Wampy, with some amazing new changes. Forest elves, ents, druids, fays, they're all here, and I can't wait to summon them all to play. And if that's not enough, Raid's got a full lineup of events along with a new season of the Forge Pass, where you can get your hands on some of the most powerful gear the game has ever seen. Also, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can get your exclusive rewards in Raid right now. And if you haven't started playing Raid yet, click my link in the description or scan my QR code here on the screen. You'll get unique bonuses worth $30. We're talking a free Epic Champion, Ina, 200k silver, 1 energy refill, 1 XP boost, and 1 ancient shard. So you can summon awesome champions as soon as you get in the game. All this treasure will be waiting for you here. Now we return to the story of the Forge. Indeed, the Skyforge's reputation precedes itself, as characters all throughout the game mention the durability of its steel and the legends of its blacksmith. Notably, Alvor of Riverwood, who offers the player a smithing tutorial after our escape from Helgen, will tell the Dragonborn to, quote, remember him when we're crafting Skyforge steel after completing our training.
You have talent. Keep working at your craft, and you'll be a fine smith one day. Why don't you keep that dagger in helmet? Maybe you'll remember me when you're making Skyforge steel, huh?
Furthermore, within the city of Windhelm on the other side of the map, local blacksmith Owengal Warhandle commonly markets his goods as every bit as sharp as what you'll find in Whiterun. And when asked what he means, he explains that the city's Skyforge is world-renowned, that forges have their own personalities, and that the Skyforge's blacksmith, Yorlund Greymane, is lucky to work with such a device.
Everyone says Yorlund Greymane is the best smith in Skyrim. I plan to change a few minds about that. Every bit as sharp as what you'll find in Whiterun. I respect Yorlund, but he has the good fortune to work the Skyforge. Something about the fires. Their steel just holds tighter. If that makes any sense. You know what I mean. Forges have personalities, right?
Evidently, the Skyforge is so well known for its unique properties that even the undead have remarks about it. Should the Dovahkiin enter Whiterun alongside the ghost of Lucien Lachance, a follower we can acquire at the climax of the Dark Brotherhood storyline, he may say the following line of dialogue.
Whiterun, home of the Skyforge. It is said a blade forged in fires can cut through sea. As if it would touch.
Now, this isn't a Dark Brotherhood video, so I don't want to spend too much time talking about Lucien, but the fact that this ghost knows about the Skyforge is an especially big deal. As longtime fans will recall, Lucien Lachance was a character from the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion, who lived 200 years prior to the events of Skyrim in southern Cyrodiil. So if he, or his ghost, has knowledge about it, it's clearly quite well known. But perhaps the best authority on the Skyforge is its Forge Master, Yorlund Greymane, who has worked it all his life. According to Yorlund, the Greymane family has been operating the furnace for as long as anyone can remember, and it's bar none the greatest in Tamriel. Evidently, its embers just burn hotter and more consistently than what is supposed to be possible, and that enables it to produce higher quality metals. No one knows who built the thing, though.
The Skyforge? My grandfathers have worked it since the first Greymanes came to Whiterun. Skyforge steel is my heart and honor. The companions need the best, so they come to me. Skyforge steel is all the companions will use, for good reason.
Oh my goodness, this game is so exciting! You can select a dragon immediately with release.
Should I shoot a fire dragon for an ice cream?
At night, The eyes of the forge's hawk statue glow an ominous yellow, alluding to a deeper magical connection. The most immediate impact of this place on gameplay is our ability to purchase exclusive, very rare, everywhere else. While this is all the base game really tells us about the Skyforge, it's big, it's famous, it's powerful, it's suspicious, you get the idea. An analysis of Skyrim's early history, and particularly the history of the Companions Guild, who, you'll note, just so happen to live right next to the Skyforge, provides some fascinating context. To explain, and for it all to make sense, we'll have to start at the beginning. The beginning of Nord settlement in Tamriel. You see, according to some, emphasis on some, we'll get back to that later, Nords are not actually native inhabitants of Skyrim or Tamriel in general. Instead, they hail from a now lost, mysterious continent known as Atmora, located somewhere far across the northern seas. We know very little about Atmora. It allegedly sort of disappeared or became lost to modern society several thousand years ago. But it's described as a remarkably cold, icy, and hostile place, almost like an Antarctica or northern Scandinavia. Sometime more than 4,000 years ago, deep in the Merethic era, Nords supposedly began sailing down from their frostbitten homeland and establishing colonies on Tamriel's northern shores. At the time, Skyrim was dominated by a now extinct race of elves, aptly called Snow Elves, who had their own culture, cities, technologies, and society. They were a truly once great ancient civilization. At first, the early Nord settlers and elves got along well and lived in harmony. But their peaceful coexistence was not meant to be, and eventually war broke out. Enter a man named Ysgramor. Ysgramor was supposedly the leader of one of the many Nord colonies in Skyrim, and shortly after hostilities broke out, his settlement was destroyed. This prompted him to flee back to Atmora and gather an army of 500 of the continent's greatest warriors. He and his newly assembled force then returned to Tamriel and opened up a can of whoop-ass on the Elves. Ysgramor and his 500 companions quickly won a series of decisive victories over their pointed-eared adversaries. And while details are rather sparse, it seems that within a few months, the entire Snow Elven military had been destroyed. And thus, the Nordic invaders were free to begin laying siege to the cities and resettling the land with their king. And this is where we get our first written accounts of the Skyforge. Because after this moment, the 500 companions decided to split up into separate groups, and each began conquering a different swath of Skyrim. One of these groups was the crew of a ship called the Jorvisker, and they sailed down the White River into the modern Valley of Whiterun, where they encountered this megalithic bird monument for the first time. And, well, I'll just read the account from Songs of the Return, which is basically a Nord book of Genesis, if you will. Quote, southwards they went, by beast and by foot. Elves they found, though none remained to tell what those battles entailed. The numbers of the Jorvaskr never faltered, so shrewd were they in battle, with minds as sharp as their blades. Once as the sun beat from its high home, yonder the tiny, the one who ran ahead, came over the hill to tell what was seen. And amidst a vast plain, his eyes had met a monument of a bird whose eyes and beak were opened in flame. When his brothers and sisters crested the hill, they too saw its glory, but they were afraid, for no elven settlement could be seen to the horizon. "This is not seemly," said Glue. "Is not this wide land fit for harvest? Why have not the elves, vile to their coat, seen to exploit and tame it?" They asked of their elven captives, for they had many, what they found unfit about these plains. Yet even the captives who still bore their tongues could say nothing of the valley. They looked with fear at the winged colossus, and from their babblings did the warriors of the Yovasker learn that it was older than even the elves themselves. Of those who rotted solid from its mother's stone, nothing could be said, but it was known to drive a magic almost as old as Nerd itself. Some remnant of the gods' efforts to render a paradise in Mundus before the shattering of Lorcan. The first of many, this crew of the Yovasker, heathens and ancestors to us all, feared no stories or gods. Indeed, if there was something the elves feared, they would have it for their own. Thus began the labors, once more, of Menro and Manwë, whose eager hands laid to the abhorrent wood which had borne them all across the sea. And what was their ship became their shelter, as this valley became their purview until the end of all their days. Thus began the building of the great city, circled by the running of the White River, as brought forth by these beloved of Ysgramor. Yet but 22 of the glamorous 500 companions. So, there you have it. When the first Nords arrived in the modern valley of Whiterun, they found that the Skyforge was already here. Not only that, but evidently the Snow Elves themselves were uncertain and afraid of the device, refusing to build anywhere near it, despite the valley being some of the most fertile land in Tamriel. The crew of the Yovasker apparently thought this was funny, and just to spite their defeated foes, they overturned their ship right next to the megalith and built their famous mead hall. Eventually, the area grew into the modern great city of Whiterun that we know it today. So, if the Nords didn't build it, and the Elves didn't build it, then who exactly did? Well, before we try to answer that question, I'd like to point out some things that we learned about the Skyforge during the events of the Companion's questline, as several crucial revelations are made throughout the narrative. Indeed, midway through the guild storyline, we learned that the Companions as leading members are all secretly werewolves, pledged to Hercene, Daedric god of man-beasts. Note, not all of the Companions are in on this. It's just the 5 highest-ranking warriors. They call themselves the Circle, and will invite the player to join them. Should we accept, and we have to in order to continue the story, they'll reveal a hidden chamber beneath the Skyforge, called the Underforge, with a shrine to Hercene, where an initiation ritual will be performed on the Dragonborn, and will gain the power to transform into a werewolf once a day. So the Skyforge apparently has a secret compartment. What on earth is this place? None of our histories or any dialogue mention the secret cave beneath the Skyforge. Shortly after the ceremony, we can ask Skewer, one of the members of the Circle, that exact question, to which he'll say the following.
Here's all you need to know. Jorvaskr is the oldest building in Whiterun. The Skyforge was here long before it was. And the Underforge taps an ancient magic that is older than men or elves. We bring you here to make you stronger, but now let's move. You still need to prove yourself, Will.
Taps into an ancient magic older than men or elves. What? Funnily enough, the remainder of the Companion's questline largely revolves around undoing their curse with Ursine. Evidently, many members of the guild don't actually want to be werewolves, as their status forbids them from entering Sovngarde upon death. Instead, they're forced to spend the afterlife in Ursine's realm of oblivion. Here's the faction's leader, Kodlak Whitename's opinion on it.
In any case, the companions are nearly 5,000 years old. This matter of beast blood has only troubled us a little. One of my predecessors was a good but short-sighted man. He made a bargain with the witches of Glenmore. If the companions would hunt in the name of their lord Hirsin, we would be granted great power. They did not believe the change would be permanent. The witches offered payment like anyone else. But we had been deceived. The witches didn't lie, of course, but it's more than a lie. The disease, you see, affects not just the bodies, it seeps into the spirit. Upon death, werewolves are claimed by Hirsin for his hunting grounds. For some, this is a paradise. They want nothing more than to chase prey with their master for eternity. That is their choice. But I am still a true Nord. I wish the salt was my spirit home. That's what I've spent my twilight years trying to find out. And now I've found the answer. The witch's magic ensnared us, but their magic can release us. They won't give it willingly, but we can extract their foul powers by force. I want you to seek them out. Go to their cover in the wilderness. Strike them down as a true warrior of the wild.
So, according to Kodlak, the Companions have not always been werewolves. Their relationship with Ursine only began a few hundred years ago, suggesting that whatever magic the Skyforge is associated with isn't the Daedric Lords, at least not originally. Nonetheless, we eventually succeed in revoking the curse, and shortly thereafter, Kodlak will pass away. Interestingly enough, the final Companion's quest will see us attend his funeral, where the Harbinger's body is burned on a pyre atop of the Skyforge. Evidently, this is the tradition whenever a Companion's Harbinger passes. The Skyforge serves as their pyre. Immediately after the funeral procession ends, we can speak with Yorlin Greymane, and he'll say the following new lines of dialogue.
You know, since Kodlak's funeral, the Skyforge feels more awake. It's always been said that with the shoulders of the heroes of old, our King Skyforge steeled its strength. But I think the Forge knows the greatness of Kodlak's soul. I can't really explain, but it feels like it's young. I'll wager it could now forge metal the likes of which hasn't been seen since eras long forgotten. I'm eager to try.
I thought it would be the play in the had an army for free help us survive. But
perhaps because Kodlak was the first Companion leader in centuries to have been freed from the curse, the Forge accepted him in a way that it hadn't for other recent leaders. And indeed, following this brief exchange, if we enter the Forge's smithing menu, we'll find that we can now craft unique Nord Hero gear. Nord Hero gear is basically just highly buffed ancient Nord equipment that weighs less and carries more damage/protection than the normal stuff. Notably, the only way to acquire ancient Nord gear is to occasionally loot bits of it from fallen Draugr in tombs. It's generally not craftable, at least until we complete this quest and access the Skyforge. I should mention that the Nord hero items we can now craft are distinct from the Skyforge steel items we can purchase from Yukon. Evidently, he remains the only blacksmith in the world capable of producing that. But even so, this moment has dramatic consequences on the game's lore, and raises several new questions. Could it be that all of the ancient Nord gear we find in ruins and at the hands of Draugr was originally created here, or used a similar type of soul magic? Is that why the secrets behind its design seem to have been lost to history? Also, if the Skyforge was here before the Nords and Elves, as all of our sources reiterate, why is its unique ability so associated with Nord culture? Well, I have a theory, but first, there's one more thing I'd like to show you. Just northwest of Whiterun, south of Vollenwood, is a bandit-occupied ancient Nord fortress called Silent Moon's Camp. At face value, this place doesn't seem particularly noteworthy. It's just one of several minor ruins controlled by miscellaneous marauders. However, further inspection will reveal this site to be far more than meets the eye. Because at the top of the fortress, the Dovahkiin will find another uniquely named forge. This one titled the Lunar Forge. And on a nearby crafting table lies a book called Notes on the Lunar Forge. It reads, quote, I've managed to get the forge itself up and running, but again, I find nothing special about its workings. These weapons were clearly forged here, yet the secret of their enchantment remains elusive. All I've been able to discern so far is some connection between the weapon's power and the appearance of the moons. The weapons themselves are crafted of what seems to be normal metal, but while the moons are high above, they gain an additional ability. It seems that once the sun has gone down, the lunar weapons take on a vampire-like power, transferring a small amount of health from the victim to the user. And indeed, all throughout Silent Moon's camp, the player can find various lunar enchanted steel gear, which offer considerable absorb health bonuses, though only at night when under the presence of a full moon. Notably, as the book alludes to, we can't actually craft any of these for ourselves at the forge. The author of the text mentions being able to get it up and running, but being unable to figure out how to craft these weapons for himself, and we can't do it either. This all seems like the lead-up to some sort of quest where we resurrect and reawake the Lunar Forge, but there's none of that in the game. It just kind of all ends right here on a cliffhanger. A look at Skyrim's creation, it suggests that there may have at one point in time been plans by Bethesda for allowing the crafting of these items here, as well as potentially some additional content, but it's not exactly obvious. There's a couple of unused enchantments in the files that seem related to this, though it's hard to be sure. And even then, it's so little that if Bethesda did have bigger plans with the Lunar Forge, then they must have been abandoned very early on in the game's development. No matter, it's hard to believe that this device isn't in some way associated with the one in Whiterun. I mean, what a coincidence that would be, right? Some folks just decided to put a lunar forge a couple miles away from the sky forge. Come on. So once again, we're left to ask, What's going on here? If these tools truly do predate both man and Mer, who could have been behind them? Well, to get to the bottom of that question, let's revisit that excerpt from Songs of the Return that we read earlier, where the Nords ask their elven captives about the Colossus's origin. The final paragraph reads, quote, "From their babblings did the warriors of the Yovaskar learn that the Skyforge was older than even the elves themselves. Of those rotted solid from its mother stone, nothing could be said, but it was known to drive a magic almost as old as the Nerve itself. Some remnant of the gods' efforts to render a paradise in Mundus before the shattering of Lorca." End quote. While to the untrained eye, that may read as just a bunch of Elder Scrolls gibberish, these are actually very specific directions on where we should look to. You see, the gods' effort to render a paradise in Mundus before the shattering of Lorcan is, in my opinion, and evidently the YouTube user Bad Luck's opinion, who nailed this thing in a comment, a clear nod to an event known as the Elnathay Wars. The Elnathay were a collection of mysterious beings who blurred the lines between gods and mortals and inhabited Nirn before it was even fully formed. Legend has it that they were once gods themselves, who decided, or were tricked into, depending on who you ask, sacrifice much of their divinity in order to help form the world as we know it. Legend has it that the ancient Elnathay were divided into two groups, one being called the Old Elnathay, who allegedly arrived on the planet first, all together at the same time, and built a sort of advanced, luxurious society for themselves. And the other group would become known as the Wandering Elnathay, and they arrived on Nirn scattered, separately, at different times and places, largely left to face this new world without the comforts of the old Elnathay. Here's what the Anuad says on the matter. A large fragment of the Elnathay world landed on Nirn relatively intact, and the Elnathay living there were the ancestors of the Mer. These Elnathay fortified their borders from the chaos outside, hid their pocket of calm, and attempted to live on as before. Other Elnathay arrived on Nirn scattered amid the confused jumble of the shattered worlds, wandering and finding each other over the years. Eventually, the wandering Elnathay found the hidden land of the old Elnathay, and were amazed and joyful to find their kin living amid the splendor of ages past. The wandering Elnathay expected to be welcomed into the peaceful realm, but the old Elnathay looked on them as degenerates, fallen from their former glory. For whatever reason, war then broke out, and raged across the whole of Nirn. The old Elnathay retained their ancient power and knowledge, but the Wanderers were more numerous and toughened by their long struggle to survive. This war reshaped the face of Nirn, sinking much of the land beneath new oceans and leaving the lands as we know them: Tamriel, Akavir, Atmora, and Yukon. The old Elnathay realm, although ruined, became Tamriel. The remnants of the Wanderers were left there to this very day. But where does the Skyforge fit into it all? Well, during this mythical event, it's believed that Kine, Nord goddess of wind, sky, and storm, as well as her husband Shor, aka Lorcan, both fought alongside the ancestors of men. And the Skyforge has Kine written all over it. For one, her symbol is the hawk, which, well, yeah, the connection there is obvious. But the Whiterun Valley is also heavily associated with the wind as well, being described as perhaps the windiest place on Tamriel. So it makes sense that she and or her followers would maintain a special connection to this place. Furthermore, and this is the icing on the cake for me, in the Elder Scrolls Online, players who earn the Grand Master Crafter achievement will be rewarded with the blueprint to a Skyforge steel hammer, which is enchanted with storm magic, i.e. Kind's magic. This hypothesis, if you will, would also explain why the Snow Elves feared the Skyforge so much, as the Skyforge would have been used against their old Elnathay ancestors so many thousands of years ago. Okay, Nate, that all adds up and makes sense, but what about the Lunar Forge? What does this have to do with Kind and the Elnathay? Well, you see, dear viewer, during this war, Kind's husband Lorcan, or Shor, as he's known as to the Nords, also fought with the realms of men. Sometime during or towards the end of the struggle, Lorcan was captured by the gods of the old Elnathay, who, according to the book Lunar Lorcan, sundered Kind's husband, splitting him into two halves, which they casted into the cosmos, becoming the two moons, Maxer and Secunda. As the Skyforge is intertwined with the magic of Kind, the Lunar Forge seems to pay homage to her partner, and this is why both furnaces are located so close to each other. It's a representation of their cosmic union. My suspicion is that whatever content Bethesda cut from the Silent Moon's camp location would have shed more light on this. But alas, such are the woes of game development. Speaking of cut content, I originally planned for this video to only be 20 minutes long, but here we are at the 35-minute mark. So I think this is where we are going to finally wrap up. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. I know the story of Kind, Lorcan, the Elnathay, and all of that jazz can be very difficult to understand. And while I did my best to explain it for the purposes of this video, I think it would be worthwhile to do a full 1-hour deep dive on the subject sometime in the very near future. So expect that video coming out relatively soon. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. I think we really did get to the bottom of this mystery. I think it's kind of hard to dispute this theory. But if you do have your own ideas, please share them in the comment section down below. Actually explains what the heck is going on. The psychic Jarl is pretty much useless. We don't find out why the mage is in the town, even though he's obviously up to something for reasons we'll get into. And the ghosts that can be seen in the nearby marsh are also unaddressed by the game. What I'd like to do today is really dive into all of the curious happenings plaguing this quiet little hamlet in as detailed a fashion as possible. We'll talk about the Jarl, Valiant, the ghosts, everything. Then, we're going to run through the boatload of cut content associated with them all. Because, man, it's clear Bethesda was planning something in development, but changed their minds. And finally, we'll explore some big revelations made about Yukon in some other Elder Scrolls games that have released since Skyrim that are very important. Spoiler alert, everything going on is far more connected than you might have thought. And by the time we're done, I think we'll have a very good idea of what's really behind the oddities of this town. Anyway, without any further ado, let's dig further and clearly corrupt or otherwise just too blatantly incompetent to do their job. But not Ingrid. She's presented as both well-meaning and sharp. The woman is clearly doing her best to look out for her people. But importantly, what really makes Miss Ravencrone so special is the fact that she's a psychic. Or at least, probably is. According to her own admissions, as well as other citizens of Gilmarch, the Jarl receives occasional visions from the divines that vaguely foreshadow future events, or provide her with an alternate perspective on the past. These visions greatly influence the character's way of governing. Though Bethesda never quite explains what exactly she's seen and is seen. We don't have any examples or anything like that. Nonetheless, they're obviously real. Ingrid also has a husband named Ulsulfur, who serves as her steward, a daughter named Ingrid the Younger, and a small boy named Yukon. Neither Ingrid's husband or daughter share her psychic powers, though her son might. Come to think of it, maybe he just has insomnia, but we get the idea. He's a little special too. Anyway, let's keep going. Despite generally being liked pretty well by everybody, Ingrid's popularity has recently taken a big dip amongst her subjects due to a single decision she's made, or more specifically, decided not to. To make. And this lack of action even has a couple of people who we'll talk about in a moment planning to overthrow her in a coup. You see, a few months ago, a mysterious Red Guard mage named Thalion moved into the town, and man, do the locals not want him here. The Nords of Skyrim are well known for their suspicion of magic, as is. They're very superstitious people. However, Thalion, or Thalion, both pronunciations are used, is uniquely unsettling to the people of Mordor, because they believe him to be a necromancer of sorts. In fear, he's raising corpses and plotting to use the dark arts against his neighbors. Locals have been demanding for Jarl Ingrid to make Thalion leave, to kick him out of the city. However, she refuses. She has no proof of any of these rumors, and knows it's just not right to boot someone out of their home without any evidence of wrongdoing. Still, though, Ravencrone is a little suspicious herself, as that boy of hers, Yorick, has been having nightmares and dreams about Thalion since he arrived. Yeah, what the hell? And even if we ourselves approach the child and interact with him, he may randomly just scream out the following dialogue line.
My mother sees things. She doesn't know why, but she does. Only sometimes, she doesn't see me at all. It's kind of, he did it. I don't know what it was, but he did it.
Yes. Well, since Ingrid is admittedly getting a little suspicious, yet still wants to be totally sure the man's up to something before taking action, she'll offer the Dragonborn a job. She wants you to just follow this Thalion fellow around for a while, only a day or two, and just so you can find out if he's up to something. Once you've made a judgment, just report back and you'll be rewarded with some coin. This begins the quest, Thalion's Secret, and it's where our video starts to get really good. Usually we can find the gentleman in his unlocked home, where the man spends most of the day at his alchemy table, and upon approaching him, he'll initially be quite standoffish. It's clear he assumes we've come to him to accuse him of crimes or something, as most of the people in the town can do.
If you stand before me to accuse me of sacrificing children or eating the hearts of the dead, you may say your breath. I have done no such thing, nor do I intend to. I simply wish to live my life in peace.
But after calming his nerves and reassuring him, the Red Dwarf will open up and explain a lot to us. He's not a necromancer, he's not doing anything with corpses. No, he's a practitioner of conjuration magic, and may very well be one of the best in the world at it, if we choose to believe his claims. Real quick, I should pause the video and just briefly explain what conjuration magic is, in case you're unfamiliar, as it's very important to this video. In the Elder Scrolls universe, conjuration isn't about creating or anything like that. It's really about summoning things from different planes of reality. By other planes, I mean oblivion or etherians, that sort of thing. What conjurers do is use magic to pick creatures and items from those planes and bring them to our world. That's what this Red Guard says he's a specialist of. Keep that in mind. He does a lot of work with traveling to oblivion and other dimensions. Alright, well, after we've gained his trust and spoken a little bit, the man will quickly run through some of his greatest achievements in life. According to him, he studied magic all across Tamriel, has learned life-extending secrets from vampires, authored numerous books, and even traveled to the plains of oblivion, where he met Daedra, and, get this, spoke with the Dwemer Elf.
I know many things. Studied things beyond the reach of most humans. Traveled the oblivion planes, seen things one should not see. I have met Daedra and Dwemer and everything in between, and I know enough to see a vampire where others would see a man.
Yeah, Balian met a dwarf in oblivion. That's crazy enough right there. It could even warrant its own video, but we gotta stay on topic. Sadly, he doesn't elaborate on any of his claims, and only mentions them in passing. No matter, before settling in Morthal, the Red Guard argues that he was working as a professor at the College of Winterhold, but decided to leave the institution due to disagreements with its leadership. The reason he chose to move here, in the middle of a swamp, well, I'll just let you listen to the reason he gives us.
My talents are much needed here in order to keep Morthal safe. Morthal is a troubled place. It's my duty to see it rest in peace.
His talents are needed here. What? Balian seems to think he's saving this place, or helping it at the least. Though he won't elaborate on how. Aside from our own dialogue with him during this quest, there's a few other things that reveal a bit more about Balian's character that I should mention. For one, he didn't come to this town alone. He was actually joined by his sister, who decided to follow him. Her name is Jonah. And funnily enough, she's the owner of the local tavern, the Moorside Inn, and is one of the area's most popular residents. We can't speak with her much, and her little dialogue is mostly just focused on unrelated innkeeper things. Though when pressed, Jonah does mention that she came to the town with Balian after learning he was moving here, and will ask you not to bother him. The other person who joined the Red Guard was his adopted daughter, a young Nord named Aggie, who now lives with him and is studying to be his apprentice. Like Jonah, Angie's dialogue isn't super helpful. But I'll just play a couple of convos we can overhear her have with her adopted father.
I had a bad dream again last night.
No?
I dreamt that you went away. You made monsters. It was scary. It was like it was real.
It's just a dream, child, nothing more. Hush now. Think no more of it.
Huh. Very interesting. Though, I'll be honest with you guys and say that I actually really like Balian. He comes across as genuine, even if he's holding a lot of information back. Like, he genuinely believes he's doing the right thing and helping people. He just won't tell us how. Oh, and something I haven't mentioned yet is that if you, the player, ever contract vampirism, Balian will usually be the guy you go to cure it. Typically, after speaking with innkeepers about rumors, one of them will tell you about this mage who lives in Morthal that's uniquely acquainted with the undead or something like that. And if you follow their directions, you'll be led to Balian, who will agree to cure you of vampirism in exchange for a single black soul gem that's been filled. Once you've gotten one, they'll tell you to meet him at night near a specific ancient ruin. And then, once there, you and him will perform a ritual of sorts. I'll display the audio from it.
I call upon Oblivion realms the home of those who are not our ancestors. Answer my plea. As in death there is new life, in oblivion there is a beginning for that which has ended. I call forth that power. Accept the soul that we offer. As the sun ends the night, end the darkness of this soul. Return life to the creature you see before you.
Congratulations! Now you're free of vampirism. Something I should note, that in that ritual, Balian seems to be calling out to some entity in oblivion and offering them that black soul you filled the gem with in exchange for hearing you. There is a lot of discussion and debate within the community about who that entity Balian is talking to actually is. Some people argue it could be Molag Bal, the daydream god of vampires. Others, like myself, believe it's the Ideal Masters, the strange collection of godlike beings that are known for helping mortals out in exchange for soul gems. Whoever Balian is really working with is ultimately unknown and beside the point. I just want you to pay attention to the fact that he does clearly have a relationship with the Bolivian specifically. He knows a lot about it. Also, another thing worth mentioning, I know this is a very complicated and deep character. If the player is a student at the College of Winterfell, we can speak with a certain professor named Phineas Gastola. He's the current lead of conjuration magic in the college, and we can have this conversation with him, where he does mention Balian, and says that he was once Balian's own pupil.
Not within society, no. Many who practice within the school of conjuration do so on their own, secretly. Balian is the only one I know who is public about what he does. He was once my teacher here, but left the college years ago. He didn't like the Archmage, hated dealing with him, hated having to answer to him. Balian said he hated what this place was becoming, so he just left. Ollie found a note on his desk, and that was it. I understand he settled down in March, and his presence there caused something of a problem.
He definitely wasn't lying about his tenure at the college either. Alright, so armed with all of this information, you would think it'd be pretty easy to go up to your old grid and just spill the beans on the red guard, right?
This respiratory illness season, practice healthy habits to help protect you and the people in your life. Now's the time to get your flu and updated COVID shots. Remember to clean your hands frequently and stay home if you're sick. We can all do our part.
Before you head out here, head to Fort Service, where 4 trained technicians know just...
I mean, sure, we haven't solved anything, but this is relevant stuff she should know. Well, we can't. In reality, all of the research we've just done is totally irrelevant to the Balian secret quest. We can't go tell the Jarl in his unique dialogue now. All we're really supposed to do is follow him around until we catch him sneaking out. Because at 10 p.m. every night, Balian will leave his home and just walk into the swamp. Follow him, don't get caught, just watch at a distance, and we'll see him walk over to a ruin. That same ruin he cured our vampirism on. The man won't do anything, he'll just sort of stand there, and it's very unclear what exactly is happening. If we choose to approach and confront the conjurer, he'll be horribly shocked to realize he's been followed, and he'll beg us not to tell anyone what we've seen. Balian won't tell us what he was up to, only stating that it's absolutely necessary to be kept a secret, and he needs to keep on doing it. He's controlling something. Now, what's so weird, and this is where we're going to start getting into the content aspect of things, is that after catching the mage do this and listening to him defend himself and beg for us to keep it secret, the quest the Jarl gave us to investigate him will automatically be completed. Which doesn't make sense. Be alone and tell her what we saw. We can't tell her everything we know, just that we witnessed Balian sneak out of his house in the middle of the night and go to some ruins. After telling the elderly woman this, she'll award us with some coin, and then immediately get out of her chair and walk over to wherever the red guard is, and tell him that he's not allowed to sneak out anymore. Watch this.
Oh, I am disappointed.
What is the meaning of this?
You've been exploring things that you shouldn't, and you know it. It stops at once, or else there will be consequences of an unpleasant nature. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
From then on, everyone's favorite conjuration spellmaster will stop leaving his home in the middle of the night. And your Ingrid will get an interesting new change in her behavior, as every now and then she'll just start following the dude randomly, as if she's keeping an eye on him. Much to our frustration, though, this is effectively the end of the Valiant secret quest. Nothing else of note attached to this narrative will occur. Valiant will never be kicked out. No, it ends here for all intents and purposes. And because I've already mentioned the vampirism stuff, there's nothing more about this man to talk about. At least, not now. We'll get to cut content soon, I promise. Before that, though, there is a little bit more about Ingrid I want to discuss, and another mystery that we'll get to. Earlier in this video, I talked about how people were so frustrated with Ravencrow that some were even planning to overthrow her in a coup, and that wasn't an exaggeration. The Jarl's own personal bodyguard, a Nord named Gorm, not to be confused with her husband and steward Ulsulfur, is certainly disloyal and plotting something. If we catch the man having a drink at the Moorside Inn and approach Gorm, he'll ask us if we're looking for work, and if we accept, he'll give us a very simple job. Just deliver a letter to the captain of Solitude's guard in Hottingar. All this. Just take the note and run straight over there. Do not open it. If you can complete this task, you'll be rewarded with some coin. Sounds simple enough, right? This begins the short quest for the good of Morgul. It goes as uneventfully as described. Just take the piece of paper, walk over to Solitude, give it to the guard captain, boom, it's over, you've got coin, quickest thing ever. Though, if we open the letter up against Gorm's instructions, you'll find it reads as follows. Quote, Oldest, you know what we've spoken of in the past. It is time. Change is needed. Something must be done. I await your response. Signed, Gorm. Change is needed? No wonder he didn't want us to open this up. Gorm is plotting against his boss.
For me? For who? Well now, there is something. Hand it over, please. Oh no. I haven't heard from Gorm for a while, so I thought he'd given up his little scheme. The last time we discussed this issue was before the Scandalous War broke out. Things were different then. Now what he's asking, it's just impossible. Even if it were, the questions and accusations it would cause, well, I'll take it under advisement. Thank you.
Why, I promised to keep this lady and an army for free. Now, but I made this up after you today to be here. Because I want to make more money.
Do you know how much it was spent since I was at the center? This has been for 3 hours without getting there. I'm Thursday.
What strikes me so much about this is the involvement of Aldous, because while a minor character, this captain is often presented as one of the most honorable men in the game. In our very few dialogue interactions with him, he's always very reflective, respectful, and kind. The biggest examples of this are when we ask him about Skyrim's Civil War, or his opinions on the execution of Grogmere, a Solitude guard who was recently put to death for treason. On both occasions, Aldous doesn't respond with anger or hate, instead with understanding and tolerance. Sure, the Empire's at war with the Stormcloaks, and so is he, but he still gets them. So his involvement in an underhanded coup to oust their rightful Jarl is odd. Much like the Valiant secret quest, though, nothing else ever comes of this narrative. Ingrid is never overthrown, there's no more conversations or notes. This is it. Finally, before we move on to looking at the game files, the last thing I want to mention is the ghost we can see around Morgul. Between the hours of 10 p.m. and 5 a.m., it's possible to identify a spirit running around Yolmarch. This entity only spawns in once during any given playthrough, and he's very easy to miss. The character will be running around quite quickly as well, so spot him, it's difficult to catch up and see what he's up to. If you are quick, though, you can get a good look at him and follow him for a while. He wears a full set of ancient Nord armor, implying he's a Nord old, and he'll lead us to an unmarked tomb right around where the Stormcloak camp in Gilmar spawns. Once he gets here, he'll disappear, but we'll find the tomb being raided by a couple of bandits, who will need to slay. Aw, that's sweet. It's like the spirit was being disturbed and was looking for help, which we provided. Normally, this is the end of the world interaction, and because he only spawns in once, it's very difficult to investigate further. However, very dedicated players who are willing to create a new character, or just analyze the game files, will discover that this ghosty boy spawns in at a specific location, called the Kienstad Ruins, before running around the hold for a little while, and ultimately finishing his journey at the tomb. This is important. Remember that name, Kienstad Ruins. I know it may not seem like this ghost is at all anything about what we're talking about, besides the fact that he's also near Morthal, but trust me, there's a connection here. Alright, well, now with all of that out of the way, now that we've assessed all of the mysteries, let's move into the cut content, and see what Skyrim's game data reveals to us. Now, originally when I was writing this video, I didn't expect to spend a whole lot of time talking about cut content. I knew there was some, specifically in relation to an unused character who could have represented great importance. But beyond that, I didn't really think we'd spend much time talking about this side of things, as the real interesting stuff would have come with the Elder Scrolls Online. Though, just to be sure nothing was missed, I decided to run through Skyrim's game files with a large group of modders who are much more experienced in this sort of thing than I am, and just dig around and see if we can find anything at all related to Morthal. Expectations were low, but we did end up finding something. That Alien secret quest, where we find it at the Ruined Crane and report back to the Jarl or whatever. That mission doesn't actually have an end trigger. What this means is that while the quest may be marked as completed in our journal and we may get the doo-doo-doo music and stuff, the game's engine never actually considers it done. The reason for this is probably because Bethesda never really finished the mission. They expected to add more after the stage in the quest, but didn't. This probably explains why the quest ended so prematurely when we were speaking with Alien before going back and physically reporting to the Jarl, as it should have. Some of the modders, specifically Jonathan, who I was in a Discord with, were kind enough to offer me a very technical explanation on their opinion of what happened, and the general consensus seemed to be that, yeah, Bethesda probably wanted to do more with this mission, but never got around to doing so. Furthermore, in Skyrim's files, every single character has a section about their relationship data. This basically just summarizes other NPCs they have relationships with, and whether or not they're hostile, friendly, or neutral with those given characters. For example, Jarl Bolgraf the Greater is said as the father to his children, Hrothgar, Nilfir, and Dagny. Well, Jarl Igrid Ravencrone has a sister who doesn't appear in the game, named Argy Farseer. Apparently, this lovely elderly woman would have spawned in Stone Hills, a mining encampment in Gilmarch's border with Whiterun. Oh, yeah, and the Stone Hills was also supposed to be bigger than how it appears in the vanilla game. Normally it's just a mine, but in reality there were going to be a lot more buildings and inhabitants here, making it more of a proper town. RG Farseer lacks any unique dialogue or even information in her scripts and deeper files that tell us what her purpose would have been. Though, with a name like Farseer, I believe it's fair to assume she probably would have shared her sister Igrid's gift and have also been a psychic. Perhaps she was going to have a part to play in that whole coup narrative. Maybe Gorman Aldous would have replaced Igrid with her. Or maybe RG and Stonehills hadn't stuff seems to have been cut very, very early on in Skyrim's production, so we'll never know. This is what makes the presence of cut content, in my opinion, so uniquely upsetting when we're discussing Skyrim's mysteries and theories. Because, we'll spend a good 10 to 20 minutes, like we've done here, ramping up this cool plot line with all these amazing little details and so much attention, only to end by saying, yeah, you know what, there is no big revelation, we have no idea what was happening, because Bethesda didn't finish the story they were writing. Who knows, maybe they don't even know. And even worse, because we're working with cut content, that often means whatever story they were trying to tell isn't even canon to begin with. Like, it holds no significance. If I were making this video just 6 or 7 months ago, this is how we would have to wrap up on such an unsatisfying ending. Thankfully, as many of you know if you saw my last video, the Elder Scrolls Online has recently got a big new DLC that finally lets us return to Skyrim for the first time in years. Sort of. The DLC only opens up bits and pieces of Western Skyrim, not the entire province. However, included in these new, or reintroduced lands, is the entire hold of Hjomarch and the town of Morthal, where the mystery picks back up. Now, bear in mind, ESO is set nearly 1,000 years prior to the events of Skyrim, so we're seeing this area as it was long ago. Nonetheless, let's get cracking. I'll just cut to the chase. When we arrive in Morthal during the events of this DLC, it still has these odd, eerie vibes. The locals are still suspicious, there's still ghost sightings, it's creepy. Though, it's even spookier than we recall it. At this point in time, the Jarl of Morthal is a man named Redhard, and his wife is a woman named Lady Nytha, or Lady Nyntha. Evidently, not too long ago, their daughter, a young woman named Freywind, mysteriously vanished, and no one's seen her ever since. On top of that, locals across Morthal recently report spotting strange skeletal beings moving around, like skeletal dogs and people.
Word of warning. Don't wander around the outskirts of Morthal if you can avoid it. Something evil stalks the hills. Make no mistake. That's what they're saying down at the tavern. Ghosts appearing from snowstorms. Undead attacks on the road. Just as I did, a group of farmers came into town, shouting about skeleton wolves. These woods are cursed. Headed towards the middle of town seeking help, last I saw. Lady Nytha.
Mission, The Long Journey Home. Like the name suggests, this is a long quest, so I'll just give you the spark notes. After an investigation of sorts and confronting some of these bone creatures, we'll eventually be directed to an old hermit lady who lives alone in the swamps, named Old Mjolnir. The locals refer to her as a clever woman. Mjolnir's not quite described as a psychic like Jarl Ygritte Ravencrone was, though she's very acute with magic and claims to be an expert maid. That cause her to have visions, not unlike our other friend. Well, after performing one of these rituals in which she seems to communicate with the divines or some other entity, Yul will explain what she believes is going on. Many years ago, there was a necromancer woman named Maxton who came to Morthal under mysterious circumstances. Maxton was reclusive and didn't communicate much with the others. It didn't help that she was a high elf, and Nords don't like elves anyway. But after a few weeks, Maxton just disappeared. The same day Maxton vanished, the Jarl and his wife's daughter, Freywind, also went missing. Most who know of this information believe Maxton kidnapped and killed Freywind. But the old story doesn't stop there. She tells us that Maxton took Freywind to the Kienstag ruins the night of the kidnapping. Remember that place? Kienstag? It's where we saw the ghost in the Elder Scrolls V spawn in. It's back. The clever woman tells us to go there and look around, as she's sensing some sort of energy emitting from the location that's associated with the presence of the bone creatures. story short, when we enter the ruin ourselves, we don't find much of significance, at least not relevant to this video. Though as we leave, we'll bump into Freywin. Yeah, the Jarl's daughter. She's here. We'll see her. And more importantly, she's not even a ghost. She's alive. Just really, really cold. Freywin will explain everything to us. She says Maxton came to Morthal years ago to study necromancy, as she knew it was the source of some weird necromantic energy. While staying in town, one night Freywin bumped into Maxton as she was sneaking out, and the two quickly developed a relationship and fell in love. At some point in time, Maxton realized the source of Morthal's necromantic influences was the Kienstag ruins, and decided she would go there to perform a ritual that would allow her to harness some kind of energy. Freywin tagged along. That was the night of their disappearance. The ritual was going well until some guards interrupted it, and Maxton lost control and fell into a rage of sorts, which resulted in the guards being killed, and her accidentally putting this curse on Freywin. Maxton hasn't been heard from since.
This was not what she planned. Maxton believed she could improve her magical ability by communing with the powerful spirits that inhabit Kienstag ruins. She asked my help with performing a summoning ritual, but it went horribly wrong. Maxton misjudged the ritual's difficulty. As she struggled, ice grew over the walls, and winds blew wildly. She almost gained control. Suddenly, King Alstrom and his guards stormed the ruins. Maxton's focus slipped, and the ritual exploded.
The remainder of this mission largely just focuses on us trying to help Freywin and remove her curse, which is believed that if we succeed, will also cause all the bony creatures to go away too. I know, it's kind of complicated, but again, Spark Notes, baby. The curse is also apparently going to kill Freywin within a couple of years if we don't fix it, so good thing we caught her now, and it also has prevented her from going into town and interacting with normal mortals. That's why no one's seen her. Long story short, we do hear her. We get an amulet, do some stuff, problem solved. And once Freywin's fixed, the bony creatures apparently are going to go away. At least, that's what Lady Yulin tells us. Okay, so in summary, what this quest teaches us is that Morthal has long since been a source of necromantic powers. And one day there was a lady named Maxton who came here seeking them out. Maxton discovered that the real source of this energy was specifically the Kienstag ruins. She went there to perform some sort of ritual that would have enhanced her power, but failed miserably, got the Jarl's daughter cursed, and caused all sorts of problems. So now the question to ask is, what's up with Kienstag? Why is it the source of this? Well, we can ask the clever woman, and she won't tell us. She'll almost reveal what the truth is, saying, well, you see, back in the... but stop herself, and decide that it's better to keep the truth a secret from us. Isn't that great?
Well, you see, back in the... Actually, perhaps that secret should fade into dust. These events show that those ruins best remain undisputed.
Well, back at Kienstag, we can find Maxton's research journal. It's burnt up and not totally completed, if you know what I mean. Pieces are missing, but it does give us some additional information. I'll read the most important paragraphs and entries for you. Here's one. Quote, Morthal is precisely the hub of necromantic power that I hoped for. It hums with death energy. My nightly hunt for the source should soon prove fruitful. Then, with some adjustments, I can begin the siphoning ritual. Even a partial extraction of the local power should provide enough potency for several years of study. Here's another quote. 3 details about this town cause me to appreciate it ever so slightly. First, if the sun is up, the sawmill operates non-stop. It produces a loud, steady drone that helps my sleep during the day. My research into the dark practice is most efficient through the dim hours. so I welcome the ability to enjoy a full day's rest. Most efficient during the dim hours. Maybe that's why Thalion was going out at nighttime. And here's the final quote. I've determined the source. Locals refer to them as the Kienstag Ruins. No one that I've asked knows anything about their history, but without a doubt, it contains powerful spiritual emanations. I must adjust the Lenovo siphoning ritual for the sheer volume of energy, but those calculations should be simple enough. End quote. Well, there you have it. This is the end of the line, so to speak, in terms of what the games reveal to us about Morthal. Mostly. We can actually later on find Maxton in a separate tiny little dungeon battle, and she's apparently gone crazy and still out there, though frankly, nothing's very revealing about the broader mystery itself. Whatever's troubling Morthal, Genstag Ruins is the source of it. And while we don't know exactly why, Lady Nguyen seems to imply something happened there that caused it to become such an epicenter. My personal theory is that the Dragon Cult was very likely involved. The Dragon Cult is, of course, what we refer to the government of dragons over humans way back in the early days of Skyrim settlement by Norse in the Merethic era. We know for a fact they were huge on necromancy, as many of the Draugr and dragon priests we see today are resurrected through such a power. They likely had something to do with Gensdag, especially considering it's an ancient Nordic ruin, and most of those were built by the cult anyway. Perhaps there was a summoning ritual gone wrong, or a dragon priest messed up. Additionally, beyond Gensdag, there's so many ruins all across the Gilmar Swamp. Heck, that place Thalion takes us to in Skyrim actually appears in ESO. It's just not related to anything. Maybe this region was of religious significance to the cult, or something to that extent. Hell, in Heelmarch, right on its border with modern-day Whiterun, is the Labyrinthian, which was once the ancient capital of the Dragon Cult. So we know for a fact they were super active here at one point in time. Beyond that theory, though, there's really no other potential culprit. The Elder Scrolls Online isn't necessarily done with its Skyrim expansion yet. There's still more lands that are going to be released over the next year, and more quests and side quests and expansions to the main narrative. So perhaps we'll learn more about the Dragon Cult during this time period in the future. And maybe they'll get around to connecting the dots of what the hell actually happened at Gensdag. But until then, only Old Mjolnir knows, and Old Mjolnir won't tell. And with that, we are going to wrap up the curious secret behind one of Skyrim's most mysterious towns. Thanks so much for stopping by, everybody. What do you think the truth is? Do you think the This video has proudly been sponsored by Video. More on them later. Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Nate here. And as the top-rated comment on one of my more recent videos so elegantly put it, There are three things we can be certain of in our lives: death, taxes, and Todd Howard re-releasing Skyrim every couple of years. And indeed, that's never been more true. As recently, the Elder Scrolls Online has gotten a new expansion called Greymoor, which allows players to finally revisit this oh-so-iconic region of Tamriel for the first time in around 8 years. In exchange for some of your money, and in doing so, bringing to life an entirely new quest line, new factions, and an unfathomable amount of new history that expands upon many of the questions the Elder Scrolls V left us asking back in 2011. Well, okay, that's kind of what's happening. You see, portions of Skyrim, specifically the holds of Eastmarch and the Rift, have been a part of ESO's playable world since the game launched back in 2014. However, from a narrative perspective, they largely took the backseat to ESO's own wacky main vanilla storyline. And if you went in as an Elder Scrolls V fan, expecting to be blown away by new lore revelations that would have expanded upon what you already knew, as I did, well, you were likely to walk away a bit confused and moderately disappointed. What's happening now, in 2020, is the Elder Scrolls Online has gotten, and is getting, more on what I mean by that in a second, a new expansion called Greymoor that's opened up much more of the province, though not all of it, and given this new area its own area. Let me slow down. What I would like to do today is simply explain what's going on in this Greymoor expansion, now that there's an actual quest line I think makes sense. I'll be sure to avoid major spoilers and whatnot. I just want to provide you all with a general overview of the new factions, new politics, and the new challenges being faced, with a particular emphasis on how things connect back to the Elder Scrolls V, as that's our channel's bread and butter. We'll explain the new main quest line, introduce it, and some other big quest lines, but I promise not to ruin anything for anybody. This way, if you don't play ESO but are still interested in what happens, you'll be up to speed. Or maybe if you just started playing because you heard about the new Skyrim DLC, you'll know what you're getting into. Anyway, without any further ado, let's do further.
Hey, we're finally awake. We just crossed the border.
Strange things have been happening since I was in May.
Even so, it's good to be back home. Back in Skyrim.
First, I'll be honest with you guys, I've wanted to make this video since Greymoor started releasing, but dedicating an entire video to ESO was always something I considered quite risky, because I'd spent like 60 to 100 hours making it, and have no clue how it would perform, and at that point, why not just play it safe and take a catch 5 on, right? Thankfully, I'm able to do this, because the Elder Scrolls Online has just launched on Google Stadia. And Stadia is sponsoring this video, so I can tell you a little bit about it. Stadia, of course, is a new cloud-based gaming service that allows users to play the most popular games and then some, from Red Dead Redemption 2 to Just Dance, all without ever purchasing a gaming system. Instead, you can stream these titles directly to your web browser, supported phone, or even a TV with Chromecast. All of your data will sync between whatever systems you use on your profile. So you can start playing the game on your phone at work or something, and then pick up exactly where you left off at home on your TV. Oh, and since it's cloud-based, you can just jump into a game without even bothering to download it. No need to wait an hour or so. To get games on Stadia, simply head over to Stadia.com, where you can buy titles from their library and dive in immediately. Alternatively, you can also subscribe to Stadia Pro, which grants immediate access to a large library of games, as well as numerous deals revolving around the platform. It is free for a month, after which costs $9.99 a month. The Elder Scrolls Online has just launched on the platform, and much of the gameplay I'm using for this video was actually captured through ESO on Stadia. The online experience is totally cross-platform, so you can play with people using other services and consoles, and your own character will also transfer between said platforms. You can purchase the game normally, or by clicking the link in the description, you can immediately jump right into it completely for free. Because until July 16th, it's free for Stadia Pro members. And remember, Stadia Pro has a free 30-day trial. So by clicking on the link, you can immediately jump into ESL for free for the next 30 days. And if you like it, just keep the subscription or purchase it. And if not, well, no obligation. Anyway, now back to a regularly scheduled programming. We're worried. Oh yeah, I just finished the introduction and was going to start explaining the new expansion's lore. So, ESO takes place during the year 583 of the Third Era, exactly 958 years prior to the start of the Elder Scrolls V. During this time period, Skyrim is divided between two different figurative kings, who both believe they should rule all of it. In the east, Yukon the Skald King reigns supreme, with the support of Eastmarch, the Rift, Winterhold, and the Pale. But in the west, Svagrim is in charge, and his claim to the throne is backed by Hoppingar, Yolmarch, the Reach, well, kind of the Reach, more on that later, Whiterun, and Falkreath. For simplicity's sake, throughout this video I'm going to be referring to Yurun as the king in the east, and Svagrim as the king in the west, just to avoid confusion. Now, already looking at this map, you can probably notice that it looks exactly like Skyrim's borders at the beginning of the Elder Scrolls V Civil War, just with Ulfric Stormcloak in the east and the Imperial Loyalists in the west. Bear in mind, though, this is all happening before Skyrim was admitted to the Second Empire by Tiber Septim, so everyone's independent this time around. Furthermore, as I mentioned, since 2014 we've been allowed to visit the Rift and Eastmarch, and even interact quite a bit with the Eastern King over there. There was a series of side quests we could complete, in which we helped the king of the East ensure he wasn't overthrown by a corrupt relative, and we could also help prevent an invasion of the Rift by some crazy cultists. Though, again, our focus is mainly on what's going on with this Greymoor expansion. This is finally taking us to the western portions of Skyrim, and unlocking Hoppingar, Yolmarch, and parts of the Reach. Again, more on the Reach later, it's a little confusing. And in doing all of this, Skyrim is getting its own unified story that should run around 30 hours worth of gameplay. The overwhelming majority of all of this content is concentrated in the new area, but some of it actually does send us back to the original eastern locations for brief periods. Nonetheless, with the table set, let's zoom in on these new territories. So, before this expansion even began to roll out, we already long since knew, thanks to dialogue and books, that High King Svagrim was having trouble with solidifying his grasp on the Reach. This area has long since been problematic for any Skyrim-based king who's tried to rule over it, mainly because of the various tribes that inhabit its land and refuse to submit, who are often referred to as Reachmen. Players of the Elder Scrolls V likely remember the Forsworn being a big problem in this area. They, too, are a tribe of Reachmen. These clans have a long and well-earned reputation for being absolute barbarians. They raid villages, burn farms, slaughter travelers. There's even rumors that they worship dark, dangerous gods and are collaborating with witches, and sacrificing